They came from nowhere to become an overnight sensation. Their music defined a generation. And then suddenly, they disappeared.
I got a jar of dirt.
If you were to ask anyone as of recently about Alvin and the Chipmunks, chances are you'll get this answer.
They're crap.
For the past couple of years, the general public seems to care less and less about these singing rodents. The Chipmunks have been producing content since the 50s, and even though they've won a couple of awards, broke records, and even got the Hollywood Star Walk of Fame, people continue to crap on the Chipmunks, with the future of the franchise remaining unsure after the CGI series got cancelled. But the question is, how did this happen? How did such a beloved singing fictional group got such hate in the last decade, only to be forgotten as of nowadays? Is it the movie's fault? The overprotection from the company? Lack of physical re-releases? What does it mean? To be frank, I don't know. But I'm gonna find out anyway, to find out what caused the decline of the Chipmunks. Chapter 1. The Return of the Chipmunks. The year 1973 saw the death of Ross Bagdasarian Sr. at the age of 52. Ross Jr., his son, takes over his father's work and spends the next years trying to bring the Chipmunks back, to which every distributor he went to, nobody was interested. However, in 1980, a radio DJ trolled everyone by playing Blondie's Call Me, speeding up saying that it was a new song from the Chipmunks. This resulted in everyone wondering where to find the album, even though it doesn't exist. Soon, Ross Jr. and his wife Janice put out a new Chipmunks album since 1969 titled Chipmunk Punk. The album was very successful, which resulted in the franchise boosting out brand new contents featuring the Chipmunks, such as more albums, a Christmas TV special, toys, appearances on live TV, and more importantly, a brand new cartoon series premiering in 1983, which became very successful. The new show moved away from the sitcom variety of the 60s and into the plot-driven cartoon of the 80s. Simon and Theodore's characterization was expanded upon at this time into the characters we know them today, as in the past they were merely one-noted characters. The show introduces 3 new chipmunks that became mainstays within the franchise, who are Brittany, Jeanette, and Eleanor, titled the Chipettes, who are created not only as the Chipmunks' friends/rivals and off-and-on love interests, but Janice Coleman created them so they can cover songs by female artists. As the cartoon continues on, it introduces more characters like Miss Miller, who will later be the caretaker for the Chipettes, and in one special, a Chipmunk reunion, we got to meet the Chipmunks' birth mother, Vinnie, who had one more appearance in Series 6 and was never seen again. The TV series grew so popular that Ross Jr. and Janice used the money they received from the show and to finance Alvin's first motion picture, The Chipmunk Adventure. Released in 1987 by the Samuel Goldwyn Company, it sees the Chipmunks and the Chipettes going on a hot air balloon race around the world while unaware they are part of a diamond smuggling scheme by 2 crooks. While the movie did okay at the box office and gaining mixed reviews from critics, it received more positive reviews years later as a cult following from fans for its animation, the adventure, and the soundtrack, which is quite a banger.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
After that, the animated series released its 8th season in 1990. The show got cancelled due to low views because of the changes in the show's format, which were parodies of blockbuster movies at the time. Though the franchise continued on in the 90s with more albums and TV specials, until eventually in 1996, Universal struck a deal with the Bagdasarian Company to license out the Chipmunks. Universal did a bunch of stuff with the Chipmunks, not only re-releasing the Chipmunk Adventure on VHS, but also theme park appearances, toys, and of course, the 2 direct-to-video movies where they meet Frankenstein and Wolfman. After Wolfman's release, the deal between the companies ended with Bagdasarian suing Universal as a result of a breach of contract because Universal failed to fulfill a promise they made with the Bagdasarians. As such, the rights were fully reverted back to the family. Chapter 2. Alvin Gets Real. We move into the 2000s where, while the public were loving things it was putting out, like the PlayStation 2 and Shrek, not much was going on for the Chipmunks, aside from DVD releases and whatever the hell little Alvin and the Mini-Monks is. I've got no notes to say about this, so much like everyone else when this came out, I'm just gonna glance over it. Puppets look good though. But anyways, Alvin, Simon and Theodore remained quiet for some time. However, news started circulating that a new movie based on the singing trio was being made, which eventually came true in 2007.
We're the Chipmunks, for crying out loud!
The movie, produced by Fox with Ross Jr. and Janice serving as producers and doing the singing voices for the film, the story centers around Dave being a struggling songwriter, encounters three chipmunks who show up at his house one day. He decides to let them stay so they can sing his songs, and by the end of the film, they bond together as a family. The movie did so well, probably due to David Cross, that it would gain a sequel which reintroduces the Chipettes in 2009 and a third film in 2011. However, this is when the public's perception on the Chipmunks started to change. Sure, there were people who didn't like them in the past.
I couldn't stand them the first time I heard them 20 years ago. I still can't stand them. They haven't gotten any better.
But the hate wasn't that huge and the public still regarded them as classic characters like any fictional star. But after the first two movies came out, people started seeing the Chipmunks as annoying, not only because the films were heavily marketed, but because more people claimed that their high-pitched voices were annoying and the songs are bad. Which kind of started a stigma that all Chipmunks songs are just covers. Not sure if this is the greatest comparison, but it kind of reminds me when after Sonic 06 came out, gaming journalists like IGN started calling the franchise bad during the late 2000s to the 2010s. Not to mention how every film was heavily criticized for its lazy stories, bad writing, and humor that probably hasn't aged well today, making these films a product of their time. However, unfortunately for the Chipmunks, things are about to get worse for them.
This won't end well.
Chapter 3. The CGI Show that no one remembers. 2015 saw three things happen with the franchise, with a brand new CGI series that came out in March on Nickelodeon, a full film titled The Road Trip, and a stage show that went on tour to help promote the movie. And I gotta say, their cover of Cotton Eye Joe is quite a bopper. Road Trip is the last film in the live-action series, losing against Star Wars The Force Awakens that same December, as it made less money than the previous films. I have to assume people weren't interested in seeing these movies anymore, probably because one of their advertisements was basically this.
That's disgusting!
Oh, honestly, I would rather listen to Alvin doing a Christmas diss rap to Santa than this, because this is garbage. Side note, the movie has a subplot where Alvin and his brothers are not recognizable anymore, as the fame has died down around them. Gee, I wonder if that foreshadows anything in the future. Now, the CGI series titled Alvin with 3 exclamation marks and the Chipmunks came out a couple of months earlier on Nickelodeon, with the plots mostly focusing on stuff like modern day technology, bullying issues, and going viral. Produced by the Bagdasarian family, who have a lot more creative control than the previous one, with songs being completely original due to not wanting to do covers due to royalty issues, and the animation was made by the same team who brought you this.
Meme. Approved.
The series didn't seem to help regain any positivity in the franchise, not only with the new designs, but the fact that it is entirely set within the town throughout the show, which feels like they're living in a dome. Anytime they go outside, it's either in their imagination with clearly 2D backgrounds, or just a reused set. Every episode seems to either end on a joke or an argument, plus Alvin's character seems to be more whinier than his previous incarnations. The show does have its good moments and episodes, but the problems overshadow the good points, and with the reception of the show plus its viewership declining with each season thanks to Nickelodeon's bad scheduling, not the first time they've done this, the show was eventually cancelled after season 5 in 2023 during the franchise's 65th anniversary, with plans of a season 6 and 7 no longer happening. But don't worry, because at the same time, Ross Jr. uploaded chapter 1 of a documentary web series on their official YouTube channel, and then after that, nothing. As of 2025, all their social media accounts have not posted anything in the last 2 years, with no updates on the state of the franchise, and any piece of merchandise are completely gone from the stores. It's sad to say that the Chipmunks have officially hit rock bottom. Chapter 4.
Now what?
So why has the Chipmunks gotten this reputation and less popularity? Well, in my speculation, it comes down to 2 reasons, so take this with a grain of salt. Number 1, they were trying to reinvent the brand for a new audience. The live-action films, and in some cases the CGI series, have tried to make the Chipmunks look more cooler and throw in references in popular trends like the floss dance, and anything that was popular in that year can sometimes date the thing and doesn't make it timeless. Then again, there's always going to be that one aspect in any franchise media that doesn't hold up compared to the rest. Number 2. The Bagdasarian family are very overprotective of their franchise. While I get that Ross Jr. has been protecting his father's work for so many years, sometimes this kind of stuff can easily be a bad thing. Nintendo! Especially when they would take down any song or episode uploads on YouTube. Now, you assume that, oh, they're probably doing it so they can put the show on DVD or streaming, but the problem is their old shows and albums are not on digital anywhere. Even with the copyright situation with the old shows and albums that the Bagdasarians themselves won't even bother trying to sort it out, in some way, it is making them almost becoming lost media.
You want how much?
At one point, the company was originally going to sell the Chipmunks to another company, but nothing seems to happen over that. With all that said and done, it's unknown when the franchise will come back. It said in an article that they're working on the next thing for the Chipmunks, but that was in 2022, and hopefully their big return doesn't end up with vegetables being thrown at them. I think it's good they need to take a break to work on the next project, give them more time to improve on the writing and the characters, as well as the songs. Similarly, franchises like Ninja Turtles or the Muppets had their popularity died after a few failed projects, but eventually came back with a project that won everyone over and bring new life to them. But whatever happens, whether it's a new album, show or movie, I'm hoping that Alvin, Simon, Theodore and Dave will be back with style like they did in 1980.